called Matoviani Ngoma, the Chief Whip and National Political Commissar for NASA. Today, I am handling the Tarehe Sita of 2023, which is going to be celebrated in Mbarara. The theme is recognizing the sacrifice of the founders of the People's Revolution for socio-economic transformation. This is deep-rooting the revolution, how it started. It started way back from 70s to 1986. But as we have been celebrating, to reach the 42 celebration which we are going to celebrate, they were not including the founding lineage of the revolution. Today is to rekindle back and document them. So that one, it was called the Western Axis. So the Western Axis starts from Tanzania, Kagera, in Chaka, up to South Sudan in Yumbe district at a place called Midigo. It is in Yumbe district. Another axis was the Central Axis, which was from Mutukura up to Kampala. That one was called Chakaza Operations. The Western Axis was commanded by Brigadier General Seras Paulo Mayunga, deputized by N.D. Nsimani. And the Central Axis was commanded by General Chiweru, deputized by Musuya, who was a colonel. The other one was a general, the other one was a colonel, which captured Kampala. After reaching here Kampala, they formed two. The West Eastern Axis, which was the Eastern Campaign. You know, these military officers, they use words philosophically, which you cannot best interpret. When I say the campaign, don't think that it was a political drama. It was a military role, which was commanded by Brigadier General Twaripo up to the northern Uganda to dislodge the remnants of the factions of the Idi Amin, who was terrorizing Uganda. That issue, this issue in the Tarehe Sita, now, it is only to document where we came from, not only being zoning it above. The causality of this, the junior officers in the military and in offices like the ministers who manage this, they didn't know this background. It is now that we are rekindling them back to understand the history of Uganda. And after documenting this in the curriculum of Uganda, we shall no longer need people to study the Napoleons, the Bismarck. That is our agenda. We want to package the history that will be in the schools of Uganda, to be taught by our people. Because our people have been wondering, you fought, you were fighting who? So we are answering the queries of the younger Ugandans who don't know how we came to join the Electoral Commission of electing leaders popularly. The other one in 1980, we didn't have the Electoral Commission. We had a military commission which led the elections by Paulo Mwanga. So now, we are the host, the FRONASA. Because when you are reading this document, I will not read the document, I will hand it in for the readers. It will cost a lot of time to address it. It is of 5 pages. So we have the activities. I will go to the activities which we are going to do in order to educate the people in Mbarara sub-region, which was Greater Mbarara. We shall have talk shows. In the talk shows, we shall go on radio barazas, TVs, to educate Ugandans about this. Because there is where we reach in ministries, you find a minister, you find an MP. When you talk about FRONASA, FEDEM, Chikos Maharum, Save Uganda movement, he doesn't understand. Because in the curriculum of education, it is not there. We don't even study our history. What we do study is the European history. We are trying to revolutionize the European history to be just in Uganda, because we have our own context history. From this, we started building museums and monuments. In Isingiro, we have what we call the Battle of Gayaza Hills, which was very strong. The Battle of Gayaza Hills, if you can ask that general man gazing there, he can tell you about how we lost people crossing the interior between the Gayaza Hills and the Kazurungusi. It was dangerous. So we shall have a museum there, which will help scholars and tourists study our revolution, which was beyond in the whole world. Our revolution championed the whole world when you are going into the details of the military maneuvers. Tree planting. The reason why we integrate the tree planting, you know, when you are moving a war, we have what we call concealment and camouflage. You camouflage with the environment to protect your life and advance the military maneuvers to capture the site, the targeted territory. That's why we cherish tree planting. It is not for the only forestry. Very many people think that the forestry authority, they are the ones who know this better. For them, they studied about them, but they don't know them. For us, we lived with them, we harnessed them for the liberation of our people. That's why we shall plant 60,000 trees within the Great Mbarara. That is Mbarara, Isingiro, Rwampara, Ibanda, Chiruhura, Mbarara City, and Kazo. Those districts we shall traverse within that week. We shall conduct ideological seminars. Very many people think that the military people, they don't have ideas. That's why we call it ideological seminars. Within these ideological seminars, we shall call scholars, professors who think they know. We give them our brain and they understand that we are academic terrorists. That's how we managed to overthrow everybody who was terrorizing around here. So we shall have a national launch. This national launch will be managed by the CDF at Imbuya. Because within the military, you can't go without a permission. The permission will originate from there to go to Mbarara to do all those. So having championed everybody in the water revolution, we have what we call water revolution. We got this idea after knowing what happened to Israel. When Israel was still Canaan, was a place of milk and honey. But when they destroyed the environment, now they are drinking water with sewage. Without purifications, you can't get pure water. And now here we are being succumbed with that problem. When you lose an environment battle, you cannot manage anything. With an environment battle, you cannot threaten the environment that will go with your drills, you will go with your members and attack it. It will only attack you and die. So this one we are going to do it with the International Environment Friends Merit Organizations, which selected me as a country Secretary General of the United. This one, the data is here, the rate of selection. I will read this one with the international environmentalists. And we shall not end with the Tarehe Sita, we shall continue the whole of Uganda, because the reason why Uganda was called the Pearl of Africa, very many people don't know. They saw it on the buckets of foods, yellow bananas, what? No, it is a part of Africa and the part of the world. The Europeans, they didn't know it is a part of the world because of one thing. It is the one which is supplying purified water, purified oxygen and everything, because the rivers and the body masses traverse from Uganda up to the world, to the delta. The delta is being formed by the rejuvenation of our waters. Tarehe Sita, it was the first day when they started the struggle in 1981. the first attack on Kabamba. It was 6th day. So for them, by then, the liberation language is Swahili. They were using Swahili. The problem in Uganda, after when Swahili liberates, the office language, which doesn't liberate, becomes the ruler. From the time when Museveni used Swahili to liberate Uganda, after liberating, he was sworn in English. And we have that program throughout the world. We are calling it Mapinduzi ya Tatu. We shall change the world and we use Swahili, because Swahili, it is the language. It is a liberation language. But unfortunately, after liberating everywhere, in Rwanda, they used Swahili, but now they are using French. In Burundi, they use Swahili to liberate. They are using French. Only Tanzania, they are the ones who liberated in Swahili and remained using Swahili. That was formed because of the two people. Here in Uganda, we believe in a swarm of people. Very many people doesn't even do anything. Nyerere formed that ideology, but here we believe in having 500 shouting MPs to originate a legislation and whatever. And from this, we are going to come out with a resolution to have a historical conference and a historical council, which will be sitting with the president to resolve and check. Because when you have a government without inspectors, checks and balances, watchdogs, you cannot do what is right. That's why you see there are some other loopholes which were not plugged, which we were condemning when we were coming to liberate the nation. So the council or the conference will integrate. The president must sit in that conference because he is a member of the historical forum, historical leaders forum, according to the constitution of NRM and the constitution and the UPDF Act. All these CDF will sit in the conference. The Commissioner General of the prisons must sit there, because for us, we are scholars of prisons. You know, liberators, most of them were dragged in barracks cells, police cells.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagement with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Come to Capital Shoppers. We have a variety of items like gift hampers, foods, garments, cosmetics, and all sorts of drinks. Enjoy your shopping experience this festive season at affordable prices in our fully stocked branches in the following areas: in Tinda Station Road, opposite Makere Business School along Port Bell Road, Duster Street opposite Nakasero Market, and Garden City on Yusuf Lule Road. At Capital Shoppers, we offer you value for your money. To all our customers and suppliers, we thank you for your continuous support. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
We are starting
starting this year with CHAN Football Competitions 2023 in Algeria. Uganda is to participate, but you can also participate by simply dialing on your phone *210 *9# to predict and stand a chance of winning instant cash and lots of other big prizes. Predict and win in every CHAN game and win big this year. Just dial *210 *9# and follow the prompts. Terms and conditions apply.
Growing up as a child, I used to play the game with balls made out of milk pints, sometimes banana fibers, and at times balls made out of clothes. I had a dream to one day play for the best clubs in the Uganda Premier League, with the hope of one day representing my nation at the big stage. I made it, and now it's time to represent my nation in the CHAN 2023 in Algeria. I'm glad that UBC TVs and radios will showcase as we fight to bring joy and happiness to the people of Uganda. CHAN 2023, live from Algeria, starting from the 13th of January, is the answer to the call of duty.
Deeper conversation.
How many teachers in Uganda did you consult? But there's a mistake we are making.
Which is good.
Which is good.
Which is good.
Which is good. We went to this school, we ran it to Western, we ran it to Northern, we ran, then you come.
Isn't that an achievement?
Objective and non-partisan.
Honorable Minister, there were a number of points. I want to start with you.
Straight from the hearts of open-minded men and women.
Money. So when people are not counting,
don't take it for granted.
Candid and authentic.
Because Uganda is not Thailand.
That's not correct, and we should stop that kind of mentality. So what I'm saying
that's
is
a trick question. Don't answer.
I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that.
Tell him you speak Luo.
I think that's where we are beginning to have a problem.
I think what is going to kill the parish model are all the misconceptions on how it's supposed to run.
I know that the Prime Minister is listening.
Behind the headlines.
Charles, let us agree. We liberalize the economy.
We are several nations put it together.
Why don't you appreciate that?
What if it fails?
I'm happy
and
to
he's a good lawyer because Amin is not in power.
The parish development committee is functional. It is there. That there is a parish chief, that the beneficiary is doing.
So we look at expenditure, we don't look at revenue, and that is the challenge we are giving them from Minister of Finance.
Your fountain of new knowledge, flowing into the mass body of knowledge.
First get the knowledge of Bukedia, how they want to be modernized.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
You return money to the treasury, which is meant for the people.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Prisons by the time of Katkamwe in Ruero, so we are scorers there, we must bring him so that we can say all these concerns and run and make sure the detainees can also share their right. The reason of Great Ambarara is one. The war and the backbone of the struggle started in Western Uganda. We shall not be jealous to say Mbarara because I'm from the place, it came from the Western Uganda. That's why. And the name of the war was called Kagera War. And that's why Kagera is from Greater Mbarara. But now, when they subdivided, is in Isinjiro district, which was Chikagate by then, when during the struggle. So in this document, they are starting the background of the founders to document the founders' contribution, not to neglect them, not to create the rift and shun them, to recognize their contribution. That's why Mbarara takes the first lead. And this one, they have remembered after celebrating 41 Tarehe Sitas, this is the 42nd Liberation Day, which will come up to, this was born when they were putting a laying stone at Katonga, where they are going to build a military museum. Because the Katonga, by the time of the liberation struggle, the first liberation struggle, was called the Order of Rukaya. Vita vya Rukaya. Vilikuwa vya vikari, vya Huba. It was not a simple matter to cross Rukaya there. Amin was dead, and the Kano Maria Mungu, with his gentleman called Wehuru Bernard from the Western Uganda. What makes me proud is one, to see that I've challenged these people. They have been thinking that they are the founders and they are the ones who formed this, but the UPDF alumni, they are the ones who formed this document, agreeing and recognizing us. That's why I'm more and even most proud than the question you have posed, that we have taken them to the roots, like how the singers were challenged by this gentleman of South Africa, that back at my roots. So we are challenging them now. From Mbarara, we shall bring them to the central axis. The host will be the historical founders. From there, we shall bring them to the central here. The historical founders will read the business. From here, western, eastern axis, historical founders will read the business. From here, the northern axis, which was, it was not called the northern, it was a war of Karuma. Because crossing Karuma was very tough. They could name these wars according to where you get a resistance. That's how they could name them. From there, we shall take them to Mubende, the battle of Tiger Regiment, because he had a Tiger Regiment there. I mean, it was tough. The theme is making everybody to recognize the founder. I can read it again. Recognizing the sacrifice of the founders of the People's Revolution for socio-economic transformation. It is not for the military People's Revolution. The problem was for Ugandans. It was Ugandans who sacrificed and liberated themselves. It was not that they went in the military camps, they trained, they do what. This was popular resistance and founded by the people. This is why they call it founder peoples. It is not for the military. Nobody who can say that I am the one who fought, you didn't fight. All of the Ugandans were fighters. Those who didn't fight the conventional war, even the guerrilla war, were fighting a prison war, detained, being queried that where is Museveni. Those who didn't fight that one died. There are those who were put on firing squad, querying them that they have made Museveni pass via by. So everybody fought in his own tactic. Future plans are developmental. We have registered 150 cooperative societies, and we have agreed the government to rejuvenate back the cooperative bank. And I'm very happy the minister, when I wrote to the Minister of Trade and Industry Honorable Mwebesa, wrote the Solicitor General to explain. And the Solicitor General wrote to the Bank of Uganda to explain why did they close the bank of the people. Because Commercial Bank and Cooperative Bank are the banks of the farmers. When you don't have them, when you have these routers called banks, commercial banks, the Stanbic, the what, which are coming from foreign countries, those are economic routers and economic vampires. We want to chase them from Uganda here and retain our own farmers bank. In the African countries, we don't have the word economy. We have cash economy, cash crops. But these ones who went to Makerere and went secretary by the means of money, because there is sponsorship of the financial muscle, they failed the exam of economy. They brought capital economy, which is very damp. For us, we have cash crops. We must have crops which we sell, export, and get the money. That's why we need a farmers bank and cooperative banks. Not SACCO. SACCO, they are routers. They only deal in savings and credits. But multi-purpose cooperative banks, they only deal in developing farmers to develop cash crops and develop what to supply and what to eat. They both save life and bring the income to the people and the population. This is why some challenges of poverty are biting us, because we went astray in terms of income generation. With this year's theme, it is worth noting that some areas like Kazo district and Nyabusozi in Kiruhura district are where the useful Yoweri Museveni in 1960s pioneered the struggle to sensitize and mobilize the peasants to abandon subsistence way of life, such as nomadism, to progressive lifestyle that embrace mindset change into commercial agriculture and settle for better standards of living, way from mud and water soaks to permanent homes, from Wabwiriza to Amatafari. Today, the seeds of this sacrifice are evident in the income generation activities in the region and spreading in the entire country. Explain. So, this explanation was also a struggle of life, because by the time we had a rudimentary way of living. So the struggle, this one was making our ancestors and fathers to change the way of living and the way of thinking, mindset change, so that they can lead a modern way and modernity. So they are the writer is very happy that the modernity is being experienced all over, and it has been spread throughout the whole country and the greater East Africa, not only here. The Tarehe, the guest of honor will be the president as per the protocol. The activities will be planting trees, talk shows, parade. We say parade. Most of the people, they think that we are old enough. We want to challenge these small people. They are small, we are old people. Then sports and other activities that will be sowing. And these activities are not segregative, are for everybody who can join the Tarehe. They shouldn't think that are segregative for UPDF, for NASA, Chikos Maharum, Save Uganda movement. No. Every Ugandan, young and old, short and tall, shabby and not, wise and not, everybody is accommodated. There is no category of people that will be enjoying this. The medals will be as usual. They will give the medals according to the category and the citation of the contribution. How you are recommended. When you are recommended for independence, you will get an independence medal. Ruwero Triangle, the same. Kagera, the Order of Rukaya, there are very many medals. There is Masaba Star 1, and the order of Rukaya. There is very many. According to the recommendation by the Chancery and the people in banning those committees to recommend the people for the award. And that one is a legal requirement because it is delivered from the Act of our Honors and Awards Act, which was formed by the Parliament of Uganda. My appeal to Ugandans is to embrace our history and make sure we study our history than embracing the Western history. Most of our people, when you, for example, when you invent a drug, when you are Ugandan, they don't recognize it. They want drugs from West Germany, they want from China, they want from India, so that we can have pharmacies and soaps with crosses of Uganda made, drugs in pharmacies with Ugandan herbalists, not that one. And I want to challenge the National Drug Authority to develop our herbalists here, because I don't call them herbalists, they are doctors. The herbalism was brought by the white man for cheating our medicine, because the report which they made to the Queen by the earlier times, they said that in Uganda and the whole of Africa, they have innumerable doctors. What they did, they made ours is a sin according to the regions they bring here. Theirs is the best medicine. Now we shall use our own medicine as a gospel, as we have decided today.